It was getting dusk, and we got Charlie into the Amtrak. And the rest of the company, the machine gun platoon and the rest of the 2nd Rifle Platoon were badly scattered. We just got out of there. And John Centerfit and I had to look like we were going to be there for the night, and we found a hole on the north side of Queen Hill and proceeded to improve it, make it a little deeper. And we thought we were pretty much out of any enemy fire when we were doing it. Anyway, we got the hole improved, and John laid down the bottom of it and lit a cigarette. And I took my entrenching tool and jabbed it in the edge of the hole, sat down, leaned back against it, put my feet in the hole, took out a pack of cigarettes, and my matches were wet. I put the cigarette in my mouth, and I leaned over to get a light from John, and as I did, I steadied myself on the handle of my entrenching tool. And at the moment I moved, a bullet hit the handle of the shovel. Where my chest had been a moment before, my hand was now there, and the bullet actually hit the handle of the shovel first. And I had pieces of wood in my hand, some lead, and I was bleeding, and I dove in the hole, and John bandaged me up. We couldn't do anything because we knew that this sniper had us cold. And as I reconstructed the events later on, he was just waiting for us to stop moving. And when we stopped moving, John laid down and I sat down. Bang. That's when he took his shot, which is what Jap snipers did. They waited for targets of opportunity when they would face the least possible exposure and detection. They would go for high priority targets, officers, men with radios, men with flamethrowers on the back. That would be a target of opportunity, because very often they took the shot and then they were immediately shot themselves. So it was almost a suicidal. This was just at dusk. John bandaged me up and we just hunkered down, and, life in a foxhole was what we had been experiencing. Next morning, our machine gun corpsman, a Navy corpsman, came by. John hailed him and he said, "You got to look at Whitaker's hand." I wasn't too concerned about my hand. He had bandaged me pretty good, but when they took the bandage off, it was all blue. And so Don said, "You got to get out of here." And I walked back to a battalion aid station. You leave when a corpsman tags you. And I left and walked back, and doctor worked on my hand about a half hour or so. Spent 2 nights there, sleeping on a cot, had a hot meal, and the 3rd day I was back at Fox Company. You always hear firing at night. Mortars, parachute flares going off. The way we lined up at night would be a row of foxholes in a sort of skirmish line, and behind us would be the machine gun platoon and the mortar platoon. And if one of the riflemen heard a sound out there or thought he saw something, he would often call back for a parachute flare. Flare would go up, open, and come down in a small parachute and really light up the area. It was eerie, surreal when it happened, but it happened all the time. And there was always firing at night, always. I was on the island of Okinawa 101 days. The campaign ended at the 82nd day. And during that time, the 82 days, I never had a shower. I never ate a warm meal except those 2 nights in the hospital. It was all rations. By the time the campaign ended, I was living, as many other guys were too, on D-bars. There were chocolate bars. They gave you some energy. Your stomach shrinks and your desire for food leaves you. And besides, the rations are pretty awful in the first place. So life gets pretty difficult and uncomfortable the longer it lasts. I slept in a foxhole every night I was on Okinawa, even after the campaign ended. As soon as you moved away to the north, a feeling of relief. I mean, you could be shot by a sniper, but that would be unlikely because it was ground that had already been taken over by us, and you were going back over old ground. Like the battalion aid station was a tent, a big tent, like a circus tent. Doctors and corpsmen and equipment, mess hall for eating, but it wasn't that far behind us.
How far away?
15-minute walk. You know, the Marine Corps, unlike other branches of the service, at least especially the Army, has a custom of when you're hit and come back, you go back to your unit. In the Army, you just go back. You might end up in any unit. But the Marines went out of their way to get you back to your friends, your company, your platoon.
What is so the 2 days at the hospital? What'd you see there? Were there
Just laid in bed. Guy next to me died during the night one night. He'd been obviously seriously hurt. And listening to a man die is not pleasant. Gasping for air, and they were attending to him, doing the best they could, but he still died. I was all right. I wasn't in any pain. They'd given me aspirin or whatever it was. My hand was freshly bandaged. It didn't hurt very much. The wound had been cleaned up. If you're really hit seriously, you don't stay there long. You're on a hospital. You're on a Amtrak, probably going off to a hospital ship. There were 3 hospital ships anchored just offshore, and seriously wounded men were taken there. You could leave the line and be on a hospital ship in 20 minutes.